Right, so I am aware that there are a good handful of you who are very excited to get started learning. I've seen that some of you have already started working through some of the certificate programs, a good number of ChatGPT progress made there. So really excited to see that you are enthusiastic about learning, and I hope that that enthusiasm continues for the year and for your lifetime ahead. So as Martina has mentioned, I'm just going to do a platform demo now. So kind of just walk you through all of the elements that are available on the AIHR platform. As Martina has mentioned, while there are certificate programs that have been pre-selected and assigned, your journeys are made up of so much more than that. So on our platform, we have live events, we have resources, we also have an AIHR blog. So we really try to pull in elements from those different elements to make sure that your learning journey is as holistic and complete as possible. And that also gives you an opportunity to delve deeper into certain topics. So as we've mentioned, we're going to be starting with a focus on HR metrics and dashboarding and people analytics. And for the months ahead, there are some other exciting certificate programs that will be brought your way. I'm going to provide you with a very brief introduction to each certificate program. So there's two that make up the analytics pieces, as well as just show you how to access them. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll dive right in. So by now you should have all received an invitation to activate your accounts. So really step one is that if you have not activated your account is to do so. If the email has gotten lost along the way, I would recommend to first check your spam folder. Sometimes they like to sneak in there. If you've done a look through your spam folder and your normal folders and you still can't find it, then maybe just to give Hannah a heads up and she will let me know and we can send out fresh invites from there. So maybe just an admin thing on that side. So once you've created your account, you've logged in, you'll be taken to this page on our platform. So this is known as our Explore page. And here you'll see a welcome checklist. So within our welcome checklist, you'll find a host of resources that really aim to set you up for success. So these resources inform you on how to set up your profile. So if you want to add details around your role within Bertelsmann, as well as a bio to inform the rest of the learners on the platform just a little bit more about you and your interests related to HR. Within the welcome checklist as well, there's some pieces around how to navigate the platform. So if you forget anything from this session, then there is a little resource there that will walk you through how to do that. It will show you how to access courses, who to reach out to for support, tips around translating resources from our resource library into a preferred language, as well as a handy guide for creating a personal learning plan. And really on that, as a starting point, I always like to encourage my learners to take some time to set up your learning goals and your intentions before diving into a certificate program. So I would really encourage you to utilize this little guide over here, utilize the planner that's linked in there to set milestones for yourself. That will help you to keep accountable to your learning journey and to help you in the journey towards becoming an innovative, future fit HR professional, which is what we all want to be at the end of the day. So where can you find your courses? So in a follow-up email that Hannah will be sending to you, she'll be providing some direct access links to the HR metrics and dashboarding, the people analytics, mini MBA, those sort of courses that we'll talk about now. Those will be auto-enroll links. So what that means, as the name suggests, as soon as you click on them, you will be enrolled. So important to be 100% certain that you want to take that certificate program before you select it. Otherwise, it'll be marked against your name. However, if you do select it and realize, actually, I rather want to do the other one, again, it's just reaching out to myself and I can unenroll you from that, and we can just get along our way there. So if you don't want to do the auto-enroll approach, then how do you access the courses directly on the platform? So you'll go to the left-hand panel and scroll down until you see courses. So you're going to click on this. You'll first be taken to an all tab, as you see highlighted in blue here. And here you'll see every single full certificate program that AIHR has released on the platform. So while we've assigned learning pathways, you do have access to everything on the platform. So let's just dive into one. So say, for instance, I know that we're going to be working through our HR metrics and dashboarding certificate program. I'm going to scroll down. A caveat, I have different access to the platform. So where mine says view space, yours will be a blue button that says request access. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on that. A notification will then get sent to our support team and they'll be able to enroll you. So just wait a few minutes to be granted access to that. Once you've been granted access, you'll no longer have to sit in the all tab and scroll to find your certificate program. You'll now find it under the yours tab. So let's look at what each certificate program is made up of. And for this, I'm going to be focusing specifically on the HR metrics and dashboarding certificate program, as well as our people analytics. So for the beginner pathway, you'll start with the HR metrics and dashboarding. It should take you roughly 30 hours to work through this program, after which you'll receive a certificate stating that you are a certified HR metrics and dashboarding specialist. So our HR metrics and dashboarding program really focuses on giving you a comprehensive skill set that covers the entire reporting process. So from implementing HR metrics to automating reporting in a compelling and intuitive way using HR dashboards. Once you've worked through all of this content, so it may seem a little bit overwhelming at first, but it's not, you'll come to a capstone project. So for the HR metrics and dashboarding program, in order to claim your certificate, you'll have to complete the capstone element. So for this program specifically, the capstone element is comprised of a project focused on building a recruiting dashboard. And then you'll answer a bunch of questions based on a case study to test your understanding. So once you've completed those two elements, you'll be able to claim your certificate program. Then on to people analytics. So this is for the advanced pathway. It should take you roughly 35 hours. So just an additional 5 hours compared to the HR metrics and dashboarding. And once completing this, you'll receive a certificate stating that you are a certified people analytics specialist. And this program focuses on teaching you the skill set needed to drive better fact-based people decisions that really aim to better the organization and obviously ultimately the people in the organization, as the certificate name suggests. So in the end, the program aims to give you the skill set you need to leverage data to drive HR insights and to make better HR decisions. Like the HR metrics and dashboarding certificate program, there is also a capstone element. So slightly different to HR metrics and dashboarding, the capstone is made up of an interactive case study where you'll get to work hands-on with some HR data. And then you'll move on to a graded multiple choice exam, which is made up of 40 questions. And for that, you'll need to get a score of 28 or higher to pass that, but you do have unlimited attempts at passing that exam. So once you've completed those two elements, you'll be able to claim your certificate program there. So really beyond those certificate programs, like I've mentioned, you also have access to all of the certificate programs on our platform. So Martina has already mentioned ChatGPT. So I highly encourage you to look into this if you're interested in understanding ChatGPT as a tool and how it could potentially influence HR and specifically making HR more efficient. This is a mini course, so it should only take you around 2 to 4 hours to complete. On that, we do also have a host of short courses on offer on our platform that cover a variety of topics. So this could be from employee experience and design thinking to using R in HR data science. So really taking data, ramping it up using some coding there. A note on these short courses specifically, you won't find them directly on our platform, as these are short courses that we tend to only offer to our larger clients, so like Bertelsmann. So we will also be providing you with a list of those short courses with the access links there. So like the auto-enroll access links that you'll get for HR metrics and dashboarding and people analytics, these will also be auto-enroll links, but we'll also make sure to provide you with the syllabi for that so that you know what you're getting yourself into. We've also selected, as Martina has said, the mini MBA, so really focusing on business acumen or that competency. This again is a short course, so it should take you no more than 5 hours to complete. As mentioned, we haven't assigned a particular timeline to this. So when you're setting up your learning plan, it could be a really valuable moment for you to find that 5-hour gap within the timeline to fit this in there. Right, so kind of information dump aside, really, how do you navigate these courses? So if I go back to our HR metrics and dashboarding, I think what you'll notice first is everything is grayed out and locked. So just an important thing to flag there, that our courses have been built to be worked through in a sequential linear order. So that means that as you complete one lesson, the lesson below will unlock. And that's how you'll have to work through each module, each program. Really why we've done that is because the knowledge builds on each other. So it's helpful just to start from the top and work through and build on the case studies there. So now if I click into a lesson, it takes a little bit of time to load. Sometimes it won't always open up in full screen. So sometimes it opens up in half. I always recommend to open it up in full, because as you'll see, sometimes you get these little animations, which at least for me can be a little bit distracting from time to time. So if we open it up, you'll see that we have a welcome video. So our lessons are built using video content, text-based content, as well as a bunch of downloadable resources. So for our videos, obviously you have the capability to adjust the quality based on certain bandwidth that you may be experiencing in your area, as well as adjusting for speed. So if you prefer to watch videos slightly at a quicker pace, you can do that. Or if you need to slow things down, there's that availability as well. To navigate through the course, all you have to do is scroll to the bottom of each lesson, and then you'll use these buttons at the bottom to navigate to the next lesson or to the previous lesson. At the beginning of each course, you'll also have a lesson called Getting Started and Course Slides. So this essentially has all of the course handouts, slide decks that you would work through within the course. I highly recommend downloading these ahead of each lesson and using them to take notes as you go. It's always really handy to do that. And then really a final element I wanted to cover related to courses is that at the end of each lesson, you'll find a chat. So if you have any questions related to the content that's been covered within that lesson, you can leave a comment or a question here in the chat. And our instructors and our subject matter experts are always monitoring these chats. So if anything is unclear or if you want information, please feel free to leave a comment there and our instructors will come in and reply as best as they can. It's also a really great idea to review the chat to see what other participants are adding to the conversation. So it's also a really great tool to be able to deepen your knowledge on a given subject. Great, so maybe before I jump into the other elements, is there any questions about navigating around courses, enrolling in courses before I move on? Great, easy, fantastic. Okay, so as has been mentioned multiple times, AIHR is more than courses. And really these next few elements that I want to show you are really, really exciting and look to add to your experience. So our first one is our community. So we have over 15,000 HR professionals from all around the world on our platform. And our community is really a space for people to ask questions, to share insights, to share articles, and to share videos with other like-minded professionals. We also have our subject matter experts. So as you know, Dr. Dieter Feltzman, we have our co-founder, Eric, as well as other subject matter experts who come in and engage in this platform quite regularly. So they may be posting polls to kind of get a conversation started or sharing some interesting articles or upcoming events on our platform. So I do highly encourage you to utilize this space. If there's a particular challenge or question that you would like an outside perspective on, this is a wonderful space to gather those insights. So for example, if you want input into how other HR organizations are addressing employee engagement, you can post a question there, and then not only will our subject matter experts answer, but hopefully other people from other geographies, different industries, contexts will be able to come in there. So let's say, for instance, this is just Gillian is sharing her enthusiasm and excitement. So it could be as simple as that. To here, you'll see that this is Eric. He's one of our co-founders. He's got an announcement about an upcoming live session that we'll have covering HR trends and strategies for 2024. Again, here we've got Ramya, who's asking if there's any module on predictive HR analytics, any live examples, and one of our coaches has come in to answer that as well. David's asking, is loneliness HR's problem? So really a host of questions that can be asked there, and encourage you to not only ask questions, but to comment on other people's posts as well. If you would also like to check whether a question that you have has been answered before, you can do so by going to topics and then searching by theme by selecting on one of the hashtags there, and it will kind of pull any sort of comment or post that relates to that HR theme into your thread. Next, we have our live events. So we host regular live events with various thought leaders in HR. These are usually hosted at 4 p.m. Central European Time and can last anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour. If you are unable to attend a live event, they are all recorded unless there is a technical issue. But so far we have had no technical issues so far, touch wood, and these are uploaded onto the platform the following week. So as I scroll through here, we have some really exciting topics lined up for the remainder of the year. So if you want to, we've got one tomorrow with subject matter expert Omar about how to generate business impact by creating HR influence. We have another session at the start of October with Dr. Dieter Feltzman on building your HR career and what does that entail. And again, we've got standardized topics that we cover every year. So one being our HR trends, as well as preparing your HR strategy. So this is really what we have lined up for the remainder of the year. Obviously, the start of 2024, we released a whole new batch of live events that come up there. To RSVP, all you have to do is navigate to your preferred live event. You'll click view event and you can RSVP. So I do actually want to go to this one. So I'll say going, and then I can add the calendar reminder to my calendar and then join via Zoom. So maybe it's an important technical thing there as well. Like I've mentioned, all of our live events also recorded. So to find those, you can click on past. This is my tip, is it's easier to find them going to past than going to event recordings. So go to past there and you'll be able to see any sort of recording we've done up until last week. And you can find the recordings there. So that's a tip, is go to past. Don't go to event recordings. It's a little bit of a nightmare to navigate from there. Just a personal tip. Okay, then we have our resource library. So you go to your left-hand panel, click on resource library, we'll get taken to this page, click on the hyperlink. The resource library to me is one of the most exciting elements on our platform that we have. So currently we have over 100 consulting grade resources, templates, spreadsheets, playbooks, and toolkits that are in this resource library, and we're constantly adding to it every week. So it's a growing resource library. So the purpose of the resource library is to help alleviate time pressure, to standardize ways of working, and to help make HR more strategic. So kind of getting rid of those operational tasks of needing to create a document. You can search for templates based on various HR domains. So if I think of, obviously what's coming up is the HR analytics and metrics resources could be quite handy to go through. So you'll see we've got a toolkit or a playbook. So this is quite an informative resource about data-driven talent acquisition. If you need some Excel cheat sheets, we've got a toolkit there. Again, we've got HR metrics calculation template. So that's a spreadsheet you can download and implement immediately into your work. If you feel like there is a template missing, so you've gone through everything and the thing that you want is just not there, you can submit a resource idea. So if you feel like there's anything that would make your life easier, make your job easier, please feel free to submit a request. And then hopefully the next time you click on the resource library, so if I just go back to the start, hopefully your request is at the top of the list. So that's also an important thing to note. If you ever want to stay up to date with the new releases within the resource library, if you just go onto the main page, so without clicking a filter, the new ones are constantly being added to the top of that list. Okay, final few things. Just need to plug in my laptop to charge. Go. Okay, so we have our career center. So our career center is made up of a few elements. We have our HR career map, as well as our learning coaching services. So our HR career map really aims to help you visualize your potential career development growth, as well as mapping any sort of relevant content available on our platform to that journey. So I do encourage you to go in and click and play around. It's one of my favorite tools to play around in as well. So if you want to know specifically about certain HR roles, there's lots of information there. So if I just click on it quickly, you'll see this general description. What key responsibilities do HR generalists normally need to tackle? What are the skills and competencies they need? What are the various career paths you can go on to get there? And what sort of training programs do we recommend for that role? We also have a create a career path option where you can say, okay, I'm a head of talent acquisition, and then I want to move to head of employee experience, and then I want to be the chief learning officer. That's the career path I want to go on. So you can do that, enter your email, and then you'll receive a learning path to hopefully help you get there and fill in the knowledge gaps. So highly recommend that you also play around with that. It's a really nifty tool to use there. In addition to that, we also have our learning coaching services. So our coaches can assist with creating a customized learning path. They can conduct a platform walkthrough. So again, if you need some more detail around that, they can do that for you, as well as giving you any tips about how to stay on track with your learning. So if you find that you need a little bit of a nudge, you need some tips on how to stay motivated, you can set up those sessions with our learning coaches. Maybe an important thing to flag is what is not a learning coach, if that's the right phrasing, but basically what services do not fall under the learning coaching offering. So they do not offer one-on-one tutoring. They won't offer regional or industry-centric coaching. They don't offer job offer decision making or resume or cover letter assistance. So those are kind of the topics that are off the cards. Otherwise, anything else is available there. Finally, in terms of our offering, we have bite-sized learning. So these are really short form video content that span anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes in duration. And these delve into trending topics. They deep dive into core HR themes. So that would be specifically in our deep dive section. And then they also offer you an opportunity to hear from other experts in the field and how they're approaching HR trends and topics in their organization. And that can be found in our HR dialogues bucket. So if you want to get kind of an interview style, podcast style videos, those are HR dialogues. We've got HR hot topics. So that's really around automation, ChatGPT, mental health in the workplace, kind of those topics that are maybe a little bit more on the fringe, a little bit sensitive to talk about. Dr. Dieter Faltzman and Eric go into a lot of detail there. Those are also fun to listen to. Then final two things, and this is really just on a more of a notification admin side. If I go back to the Explore page, we have a mobile app, which is available to download. So if you like learning on the go, if you need to learn while commuting to or from work, then we do have an app where you can access everything on the platform. So anything that you see on your desktop device, you'll find on the app as well. So to find that, you'll go to your account. So to your little person over here, you'll go to personal settings and then to download the app. So you can either use your cell phone to scan the QR code, which will take you to your app store, or you can click on the Google Play button here or the Apple App Store button there. Highly recommend doing that, especially to listen to some of those bite-sized learning elements. And then a final note is around notifications. So part of the AIHR platform is that from time to time, you'll get email nudges. So if you haven't been learning for a while, you get a, hey, we miss you on the platform nudge, or if there's new releases on our platform, you also get notifications around that. We are aware that from time to time, that is not something that people want. So to do that, or to turn them off, again, you go to personal settings, to notifications, and you can turn off your email updates. Although I do highly recommend, especially for those learning nudges, to keep them on. Great. Any questions from the demo or any other questions in general?